You got questions going out of your mind. Someone with answers now that's hard to find. Like the what and the why and the how stuff works, or just where to go to avoid all the jerks. She's Gear Abby, Gear Abby, Gear Abby, advice that doesn't suck. Gear Abby.
Hello there, my outdoorsy friends, and welcome to Gear Abby, where we tackle the controversial, weird, obscure, and taboo topics that other outdoor podcasts refuse to touch. I'm outdoor educator and writer Shawnté Allison, and I'm here to answer your burning questions about our relationships with outdoor people, products, places, and pastimes. And I want them all because remember, there are no dumb questions, just smart advice. Alrighty, Roo, here's how it works. You're going to send questions to deargearabby@gmail.com. I'm going to answer a couple each week on the show with this guy, my partner in gear, the producer of Gear Abby, and a guy who dreams of the day that I finally watch every minute of every Lord of the Rings movie, Colin True.
You know, Shawnté, you're only hurting yourself at this point. Like it's
Maybe
such,
I'm doing it
and
on
it's not
purpose
even
now.
that it's one of the most. It's considered to be the best trilogy. It's considered to be an iconic franchise on an iconic book series. It's not any of that. It's so in your wheelhouse.
Listen, it's only the most iconic trilogy because they never made National Treasure 3. So let's just be real for a second.
I'm anti-National Treasure.
Well, you haven't
movie.
seen number 3 yet.
Just
You
waiting.
don't
That'll
know.
bring it
Could
all
be
together.
anything.
It's like the dude's rug, just tying the room together.
This time he just steals the White House. Take it.
Actually,
Go for it.
I'm on board with the franchise if we can make this happen and make it
I
real.
have ideas. You guys call me, okay? Disney, whoever owns it now, call me.
You know, as we're all avoiding the news
What
to
news?
not see what terrible things happening, it's like, actually, we're bringing in Nicolas Cage. He's going to fix it.
I would actually like if I could just have a personal Nicolas Cage in my life. I'd like to pick which one, though, because, you know, Kiss from Vampire Nicholas is a little different than, like, you know, Pig Nicholas, and we could go on.
We can make Justin Hausman happy and have a Nicolas Cage draft. He's a huge Cage head.
Is he? I didn't know that. All right,
No, he
Justin,
loves
I
Nicolas
hope you're
Cage.
listening. I know he listens most of the time. We're summoning you for a future Nicolas Cage draft on we'll figure out a way to shoehorn it into Gear Abby, okay? Oh, man. Well, and speaking of the news, there is a news.
Yeah.
I know you talked about it on the Rock Fight a little bit, but I just had to bring up Patagonia, the company, named after Patagonia, the region, suing Patagonia, the drag queen.
Yeah, that happened.
It's giving me like Columbia sues Columbia vibes. Remember when Columbia Sportswear sued the university?
This is worse.
I do. Now, here's the thing. Okay, on face value, it's like, what the hell, Patagonia? But when you read the details, you're like, Patty kind of dropped the ball a little bit. It's a trademark infringement thing. I mean, I think it's stupid, but I also think as a company, this is what companies do. They protect their trademarks. So that's why there's the dollar, the dollar damage.
And the legal fees.
Well, the legal fees are going to be pretty high, I'm going to assume, for Patagonia's counsel.
Those lawyers are on retainer. They charge a pretty penny.
Yeah, that's going to be what hits Win in the
Have you seen the merch in question?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember when Patty posted it.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's so far afield from anything that looks like a Patagonia logo.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, this is just, if you listen, any listeners of the Rock Fight, you know, RIP the Rock Fight, but anybody listeners of the Rock Fight, we talked about brand boners.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's like just like an unforced error. This is such an unforced error. You talk about people that are aligned philosophically. Yep. And I get it. At Polar Tech, we had to frequently sue other textile makers because they were making stuff
people
that we
like
had
Polar
a patent
Text.
on. You can't do.
That's my special brand. That's my
Text?
drag king name, Polar Text.
That's a good. I would go see you. But this is a thing where, like, this is the perfect opportunity for alignment and reaching out and being like, hey, you know what? We're going to license you. This is what producer Dave said. You're going to license you for $1 so you can make your stuff. Yeah. You know, they could underwrite the entire merch line. It wouldn't even be a quarter of a drop of the bucket for what it would cost them. It's so dumb and so blind. You just have blinders on, man. What are you doing, Patagonia?
Yeah, and I know. I don't get, like, I don't know the behind the scenes. Like, it seems weird to me that they would have spent spent all that time talking to Patty back in the day and then not just talk to Patty now. So who knows? I don't know all the details. It did rub me the wrong way, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Patty does some amazing stuff, always raising money for different, organizations and stuff. And that's what that clothing was, by the way. They were selling the clothing to raise money for charity. So it wasn't to line Patty's pockets. So it's a very interesting choice. Patagonia.
It's just, I don't expect this from Patagonia.
No.
A lot of other outdoor brands, if I saw this, I'd be like, yeah, that stacks up. But like this one, it's like, dude, Patagonia, come on.
I would expect it from Colombia.
Yeah, kind of.
I love a little, the thing is now, Colin, people who listen, who know the rock fight, this is the only place you get Colin now, so you're all going to have to listen to Gear Abby. People who have no idea what the rock fight
Buckle
is.
up.
That's right. Those of you who do not know what the rock fight is, it was, RIP, an amazing outdoor industry podcast, co-founded, helmed by Colin. Anyway, so this means we're going to open the gates a little bit on Gear Abby. I think we should try to get some more, listen, industry folks, send us your questions too. They could be about anything. But if you have questions you think would appeal to a broader audience, send them in. I want them. But make your case to come on the show. I want it. Send us your advertising dollars. I want it.
We definitely want those.
All right. Well, enough pandering. What should we start with today?
Okay. Well, funny you should say that. This is a little. I guess this is an industry question, maybe an industry adjacent. That's pretty much in the industry. It's a retail question. So here we go. Dear Gear Abby. Now it starts a little funny. It says, disingenuously yours.
Okay.
Why should I care if outdoor stores continue to struggle? Cheap and disposable gear is only a click away on Amazon, and cottage makers have all the innovative new stuff. What value does a physical store add? Maybe Colin, spelled with two L's, by the way. I want to point out that the two L Collins are posers, and I won't abide being added that second L. All right.
Throw the whole email
It's okay.
away.
It happens. I'm just bitter. It's happened my whole life. All right. Maybe Colin could talk about the financial challenges of a retail store versus an online shop. I had a long, fun career in outdoor retail, and it concerns me that several large chains and venerable small stores have gone under. Am I a Luddite? Signed, former co-op manager. I'm imagining that's REI Co-op. Scott in Ojai. All right, California streak intact.
I love it. I love keeping up a California streak. I also love seeing a question come in from someone in the industry. See, if you ask for it, it will just happen automatically.
That's amazing. You manifested that.
I am so good at manifesting. So yeah, listen.
It's because you're a witch.
I am. I'm a bruja. That is. My grandma was. All right. So listen, I will say, first of all, Scott, your mention of Amazon did give me a light touch of the PTSD because some years ago when Outside Business Journal was still snooze, again, this is an industry thing. If y'all know, you know, I spent several months reporting a story about Amazon's effect on outdoor retailers. And I must have talked to Paul Fish of Mountain Gear about 900 times. Like, bless his heart for being the most patient human on the planet. And he told me afterwards, like the piece comes out, yada, yada. He told me afterwards that thinking about all of that, Amazon's impact on his business, is part of why he decided to close up shop. So I must have spent a full year thinking I was personally responsible for Mountain Gear shutting down. I was like, oh my God,
no.
Paul, I'm sorry. And he's like, no, it's the best thing. But yeah, listen, Scott, you're not a Luddite. I know you said you're asking just disingenuously because you believe, like I do, and I bet like Colin does. We'll see. We'll find out because Colin always has an opinion. I bet you believe that brick and mortar, that is, by the way, physical stores, for those of you who are not industry wonks who are listening, I think it's important on about 900 different levels. So since we're in California, we're going to stay there for a hot second because, you know, I like to. It's also warmer here than it is anywhere else in the country right now. We used to have a great specialty shop called Adventure 16 or A16 to We Faithful. And they had a couple shops in the LA area, San Diego. And in fact, the San Diego one was where I did my book launch for the PCT book.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That was their headquarters,
so much
too.
fun.
That's where their buying office was in San Diego.
Oh, yeah, they were so great. Like, thanks again, John Mead. Anyway, when they closed shop, a lot of us in the outdoor community here were pretty devastated. And that's because A16 was, I think of it like a record shop for outdoor nerds. You could go there, you could browse for hours, just kind of flip through maps and books and sleeping bags and socks and everything. And if you wanted, the staff would sit and, you know, shoot the shit with you and not just help you find the right thing, but also answer all of your questions. Kind of like Gear Abby analog, I suppose. But yeah, they talked to you about your trips coming up, your sport of choice, some cool movie they saw. Like it really felt like you were going to hang out with the cool record store people. They had movie nights, speakers they did rentals. They had all these cool discounts. I loved it. I loved that place so much. So to me, it wasn't just a place to buy things. It was part of the community. And I think shopping there to me felt personal. It felt intimate in a way that online retail never will. It just won't. I loved it so much. I wrote a whole elegy for Adventure Journal that got passed around. It was like from the heart. But yeah, I'm just personally, I'm excited to hear what you have to say, Colin, because I am sick of just existing in the digital realm. The digital realm is nothing. We just push a button and you get whatever you want. And I think it's really wrecked us in a lot of ways as humans. I want realness. I want intention. I want to be present. I want to have a tactile experience with maybe not people and things, but with things. Maybe I do want to have a tactile experience with people, actually. Anyway, I could keep rambling on here, but Colin with one L, Scott specifically invoked your name in that email. Plus, I know you were just bursting with opinions, even if he hadn't. So what are your thoughts on the topic?
I'd say, Scott, I don't know if you are a Luddite, but I'd say in this topic, you're maybe being a Luddite, right? I think the thing is, it's not better or worse. It's different. It's like everything else, right? Well, hold on. I'm getting to it. Like there's a general perception in the industry of like, oh man, digital's coming for the brick and mortar and everything like that. And it's like, well, let's step back for a second. Yeah, we have more options. And I'd say I agree 100% in principle with everything Shawnté just said. But I got to tell you, if I need my next pair of Lone Peaks, Ultra Lone Peaks in a size 13, and I'm think of it while I'm out like doing something, and I can just pull up Running Warehouse on my phone, and they'll be there the next day. Yeah, I might do that. I might not have time to go to the shop.
It's a thing you know you want, though.
Exactly.
I'm talking about discovery in a lot of ways, and like that human touch.
And that is why the specialty retailer will continue to thrive. I think it's akin to what we're seeing in movie theaters, right? I mean, I think big chains, the days are numbered, not that they're going to entirely go away, but it's going to be different. But every town will probably have a boutique sort of like movie theater for all the cinemaphiles out there who want to just go see movies in person. Why? You talked about record stores. Vinyl's having this moment. Yeah. I collect vinyl now. Yeah. I had vinyl when I was a kid. I got rid of it all. Now I'm buying it again because it's fun to kind of have real media.
It is.
And I think outdoor stores are that way. I think what we're seeing is there was a time when an outdoor store could open up pretty much anywhere and probably find an audience. And now because it's different, it's not the case anymore. And I think the people, though, the quality of the ownership of the independent stores has gone up because people know how to run their own business. And I think we're seeing that with a lot of these stores that are still thriving even in this current new world that we're in. Now, when you talk about the REIs and the chains, I mean, that's a bigger question because they're talking like 90 plus stores. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes with that. But it's still, I still pop into REI if it's nearby and I need something and I know what's there. But we still have a specialty shop down the road from my house, and I go there whenever I can because I want to support them. And to Shanté's point, it's fun to walk around an outdoor store. And before you know, now you're talking to people on the counter and like, oh man, I was up at Joshua Tree climbing. Like, oh man, I'm doing a hike in the San Bernardinos this weekend or whatever. It's like that's the stuff. And I don't think that will ever go away, no matter what technology throws at us from how convenient it becomes.
Wow. I have to say, Colin with 1L, that was pretty good. I was expecting maybe a fish shake to happen in there, but you know what? You did. I think the fish shake was for the extra L. So I think you got a little one in
I got it out of my system.
You got to yell it like one wisp of a cloud. And then you said something real nice. So hey, thanks, Colin. Appreciate you. You know what? I wish I could go back. The A16 that was on the west side of LA was like a little cabin, and they had a little hot cocoa station.
Yeah.
I love that
I still think
place.
there's a chance. LA is a really interesting one. I mean, there's so many people here, as a lot of people know, right? It's a big city, second biggest city. And there's plenty of people who have money here. There's plenty of outdoor recreation here. I don't know why there's not a specialty shop or a couple of them outdoor shops in the LA area. And I think that's an opportunity for somebody. Maybe Gear Abby's first retail store.
Gear Abby's gear shop. Gear Abby's gear garage.
It's not a bad idea, Shawnté.
Let me think on that. Let me try to get a
daily book
investor.
signings with Shawnté Salaberry.
It's just we only sell my books. That's right. And Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Oh my God,
DVDs.
this is the best store ever.
All right. What do you have for me next? That was the most awkward. I can't even talk right now because I'm so thrilled thinking about my own store. No, I'm not. Ask me a question.
Okay, here's the second question of this episode. Dear Gear Abby, big true crime nerd here. Also, a big reader. Just listened to the episode where you talk about outdoor books by women, so figured you might have some good recs for outdoor true crime books. Thanks, signed, Blame My Favorite Murder, which is my favorite podcast, but yours is great. Oh, well, backhanded at the end. You have such a good email until the end.
It was good. It could use some work.
Your podcast is fine, I guess.
It's okay. It's as long as you can give me murder books, it'll be second in line. All right. What do I call you? MFM. I know is the blame. Should I just call you blame? All right, blame. No, listen, as a fellow book nerd, I think I'm actually reading 7 books right now. And in my defense, at least 3 of them are for my book. But I am a voracious reader, so I'm excited to dig in. First of all, people may remember from that episode, I mentioned Annette McGivney's Pure Land, and that's about a murder that happened in the Grand Canyon, and just like a multi-braided story about it. Along those lines, I suggest you check out Trailed by Catherine Miles, who has the best name for someone writing about a book set on a trail. Her subject matter is the investigation. Or her investigation, really, of the 1996 murders of Julie Williams and Lolly Winans on the Appalachian Trail. Great book. Very engaging. Don't read it while you're hiking the AT. That's my only recommendation. These are home books. You read these at home or in a hotel or something, like somewhere that's not outside. So I also say in maybe more ambiguous, was it a crime or was it? Territory, I have 2 recommendations. First of all, Andrea Langford's Trail of the Lost, which I was delighted to discover. She used my PCT book as one of her references. So I got to meet her when she did a presentation.
Okay, we'll sell her book in the shop too.
We'll sell her books in the shop.
She just earned a spot.
She's written like 6,
your books and only books adjacent to your books.
That's right. It's a very special small web. Super specialty shop. But listen, she wrote this amazing book, Trail of the Lost. It's about her efforts and all of these other people who've gotten involved in trying to solve this like kind of crazy ongoing mystery. We're on like year 11 here of what happened to 3 different men who disappeared on the PCT in roughly the same area, which is the freaky part, or at least 2 of them are the same area, and a year apart from each other. And the wild thing is, I was on trail. So the first guy who went missing, Chris Sylvia, it was in 2015. And I went past the area. I was on the trail working on my book that summer or that year. And I walked past where there was all this police tape. And it was totally unnerving because it's a very remote part of the desert. And you're like, oh, okay. Okay, nothing weird has happened here.
Is it like crime fear only, or is there like some Bermuda Triangle like weird sci-fi stuff?
Yeah, you'll get a little bit of everything in here. It is she really goes deep into a lot of the different theories. It's a really good book. Like I loved it, and I saw she did a presentation here at the Adventurers Club, and it was pretty dang good. Along that line, there is another book I really enjoyed, which is Lost in the Valley of Death by Harley Rustad, who people might know from The Walrus. It follows the story of a backpacker who disappeared in the remote Parvati Valley in northern India, that's in the Indian Himalaya, while seeking enlightenment. So you know what kind of backpacker this was. I don't need to tell you. But another amazing investigation, like what happened to this dude. And you also get to hear about this amazingly beautiful place in the mountains, and why people are drawn there. So that was a very good one. I also, slightly different, I loved Jordan Fisher Smith's Nature Noir, which is about all the crazy shit he witnessed while he was working as a ranger for 14 years in the west side of the Sierra on the American River. And if you like that, actually, Andrea Langford also wrote, she's written many books, but she wrote a book called Ranger Confidential, which is about her 12 years as a park ranger and all the crazy shit that happened. So like those are great. And if you want to get really wild with it, if you just are like, I would like an encyclopedia of death, great. I've got 2 recommendations for you. There's Over the Edge, Death in Grand Canyon, and Off the Wall, Death in Yosemite. And both of those deal with the ways people have died in both of those parks. So morbid, dark, kind of true crime adjacent, because there is definitely some crime in there. But yeah, and that is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure there's a lot more. Like, send in people who are listening. If you've got other book recs, send them in and I'll put them on my Goodreads.
I don't know if true crime is something you want to have out on the trail.
No, that's what I said. Don't read it on the trail, Colin.
Yeah,
Were you listening?
good. Yeah, that was an important warning there. But also, there's some like, stereotypes that really do begin with the truth. And I don't understand the whole. My wife is a true crime person. What is with the middle-aged women in true crime? What is it?
I don't. I always wonder
Make
that.
me understand.
Because I bet she listens to My Favorite Murder. My mom listens. And
Yeah.
She got me to listen to it, and I was wondering why I was drawn to it. I'm like, this is kind of fucked up, I was like, why is this enjoyable?
I forget what it was, but I basically connected two dots that were not that close, but about something that could happen, like to one of our kids or something like that. Like if something happened, and my wife's like, that could never happen. I'm like, you watch hours of like stuff where stuff seemingly could never happen actually does happen. So how do you discount what I'm saying?
It's true. I have to be very careful about sprinkling in any true crime reading or watching or listening or anything into, because I have a very overactive imagination. I am a person who has nightmares at night. So I don't need extra fodder. I already, to this day, still jump in bed when I'm going to bed because I don't want my feet exposed to the monster under the bed. So,
well, that's real.
Thank you.
But if you wanted to go crime but not true crime, would you go like a Cormac McCarthy or something like that?
Oh, like I was going to say in True Blood. That's a TV show version. That's a vampire version of In Cold Blood.
Well, I was thinking like kind of outdoor theme, Western, a lot of, those kinds of themes going on, but very, very crime centric. If you want to go less true crime and more, is that the kind of,
is that what
author
you
would
want?
go for?
Maybe you would want that.
I'm asking you. Like,
I just told you what I read.
Oh, okay.
we just spent like 10 minutes talking about what I read.
No, if you didn't want to do true crime.
If I wanted to do false crime.
Yes, fiction.
If I wanted to do small crimes.
You don't do
petty
fiction.
Crimes. I do fiction. I do fiction, okay? I love fiction. It is my escape, so maybe. Oh man, Colin, I love when people bring book life to podcast life. People keep sending in your book questions. It delights me, even if the subject matter is kind of morbid. So keep it up.
We got to bring books back.
I know. Make
really
reading
left.
a thing again. I love to read. I'm thinking about the book fairs we had in school. What a delight. I want that. I want like an adult book fair, not an adult book fair. Like adult, you know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe I do. Maybe I do.
Why not?
This is the Gear Abby podcast.
Could we hold it at the Alien
goes.
Cat House?
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Call back.
We could. We'll give him a buzz. We'll see. Well, while we're planning out our XXX reading future, what question do you have for me next?
Gear Abby, the Penthouse Forum of outdoor podcasts. Okay. So next question. Here we go. Dear Gear Abby, I have an embarrassing question. But I guess you get a lot of these. I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, are you being judged?
Don't judge yourself. Too early for that.
Yeah. A friend just gifted me a Kula Cloth to use on my backpacking trips.
Nice.
I know a lot of people use them, and it's really cute. But I just can't get past the idea of reusing something that I wiped with after peeing. How is it possibly hygienic for ? So really, I want to make sure they're emphasizing the hygienic part. I don't get it. I would feel better if I could wash it after every use. But how the hell am I supposed to do that on a backpacking trip? Help! Signed, Shaylene.
Oh, Shaylene, first of all, there is no need to be embarrassed. Everybody pees, myself included. And at this point, I think I own 4 Kulas. That might be a minimal number. I may actually have more than that because every time they come out with a cool design, I'm like, I must have another pee cloth. For people who are not familiar, by the way, Kulas are we use the phrase pee cloth, but it's an absorbent thing that has a waterproof layer and then an absorbent layer on the other side. You can clip it to your backpack or wherever you want it, your fanny pack if you're that kind of vibe. And if you're somebody who squats when you pee, this could be a very useful thing to dab with afterwards. But anyways, I have many Kulas. I also have a shirt and pants set printed with the famous Victorian cat. If you spent that 1 year that their entire Instagram feed was Victorian cats, I'm a little obsessed. But yeah, I've been using Kulas forever, including on long distance hikes, and not once have my lady bits gotten the funk. So I just hear proof positive. And I could just sit here and try to convince you.
From the Kula Cloth.
That's right. Or anything else, Colin. Okay. It's a clean environment. But listen, I decided to call in reinforcements, and you're in for a treat. You're about to get the straight shit, or the straight pee, from Kula Cloth's founder and CEO, the absolutely delightful Anastasia Allison. Welcome to the show, Anastasia.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so happy. Your energy is just filtering through the screen into my soul. So thank you for that.
Likewise.
Great. Well, we love to talk about bodily fluids and stuff on the show. So let's dive in. Let's actually start with the issue of whether or not a Kula cloth is hygienic. I mean, is it? Like, what's your take on this?
Yeah, so the Kula cloth, the way that I designed it, because when I first heard about the idea of a pea cloth, I had a very similar reaction to your listener. My very first reaction was, this is disgusting. Like, who would ever reuse a wipe to pee? And I was a backpacking instructor at the time. And so there was this tiny little spark in my mind that was kind of like, but maybe you should give it a try first and see what your actual experience is before you just totally write it off. So first off, I want to say thanks to the listener for just being open to the idea, but your hesitancy is not abnormal. And as I started using a pea cloth, and I was just using like a scrap of fabric to get started, just a piece of microfiber, I had this sort of lightning bolt moment where I realized, wait a second, this scrap of fabric is literally not designed for hygiene at all. I wonder if I could actually work with a textile company that created fabric that was specifically designed for the purpose of hygiene to make something that actually is hygienic to be used for this purpose. And I, with literally no experience in the textile industry, dove into learning all about antimicrobial fabrics. And the Kula cloth is created with a special type of fabric that is super absorbent. So when you pat dry with it, it actually is pulling the moisture away from that exterior layer of cloth. And then the actual fabric itself is treated with silver ions. The important thing about that is that not all silver is created equal. It's actually sort of a wash that's kind of washed into the fabric. And there are silver nanoparticles that can be actually harmful to wastewater systems.
Oh, not nanoparticles.
Not nanoparticles. These are ions. Ions become inert and they are safe to be used against human skin. The biggest piece that I always tell folks is like the alternatives to using a pea cloth are either drip drying, which if you just sort of are twerking or shaking out there on the trail.
And who isn't?
And who isn't?
I mean, I am.
It is impossible unless you're just sort of out there air drying for 30 minutes, it's pretty tough to get all the moisture off of yourself.
Damp still,
there's places that moisture can stay.
That's right.
We'll just say there's a couple places where moisture can stay, and invariably what happens is that your underwear becomes the de facto pea cloth. And so the concept of a pea cloth is that we are removing moisture from being up against your body and actually creating a more hygienic environment, because especially when you're out in the backcountry for a day or even multiple days at a time, moisture against your skin, particularly in the nether regions, not your friend.
No, mortal enemy.
Mortal enemy is moisture, chafing, infection, and unbelievably, there's actually studies done by Knowles that demonstrate very, very specifically that hygiene is usually the thing that derails people's trips. It's not, my $70,000 tent failed. It's I got an infection, or I, wasn't drinking enough because I was worried about peeing. And I've literally gotten letters before from people who told me that they specifically intentionally dehydrated themselves on hikes because they were concerned about having to pee in the backcountry. No. And so I feel like the Kula is pulling moisture away from your skin, allowing you to stay hydrated and peeing consistently. And all of those are very good things.
Oh, hell yeah, they are. I mean, I'm thinking when you talking about your microfiber early version of a pea cloth reminds me of how primitive mine was. It was just a quarter of a bandana, and it was the least hygienic thing anyone has ever seen on this planet. So it did not moisture wick away from my nethers. It was like, who wants to hang out? I want moisture everywhere. All right, so we've got moisture is being wicked here. We're using, whatever. How do we keep it clean? Because that is sort of the other part of this question. I have my methodologies, but which involves a bidet, by the way. I think I've actually talked about it on the podcast. I am a bidet nerd. But what do you recommend for people keeping these clean while they're on trail?
So while I'm on trail, I will use mine over and over again all day long. The tip I would recommend to this particular listener is test it out at home first, because I think that's a really safe environment where you could try using it a few times during the day, like just in your home bathroom, and just see how it feels and see if you get used to the feeling of not necessarily washing it off in between. If you genuinely want to rinse it off in between, there is nothing wrong with that. You could literally wash off your Kula every single time. It will likely function a little bit more like a wet wipe, but it still would work. It still would pull moisture away from your skin, and you'd still be cleaning any residual urine off of your body. All of those are good things. So you could absolutely theoretically wash it off in between uses, but how I prefer to use mine is that I pee throughout the day. I use a Kula to pat dry every single time I pee. And then in the evening, what I do is I take a water bottle, a couple drops of natural soap like Bronner's peppermint soap, and I walk at least 200 feet or more away from natural water sources. I add my couple drops of soap, agitate the Kula as, sort of aggressively as possible to get it clean, rinse it off, squeeze it dry. And then if you are camping in a damp environment, one thing I found that hanging damp things to dry in a damp environment, sometimes they aren't quite dry in the morning. So what I definitely recommend to folks is if you want a dry Kula by the morning, take your damp Kula, place it on your thigh inside your long underwear. You'll probably hate me for about 2 seconds because it'll feel like cold and clammy. Keep in mind, it's clean at this point. I just want to make that very clear. This is a clean, slightly damp Kula. And then by the time you wake up in the morning, it'll be completely dry. If I am just on a day hike, what I'll do is I'll bring the Kula Cloth home and I will just hand wash it in my sink, or I'll throw it in my standard washer dryer.
Nice. By the way, I cannot get over the fact that the one soap flavor, that's not it, scent that you recommended that you said you used is mint. You're just putting mint there in the nethers, like, woo,
I like
refreshing.
to keep it. We like to keep it keep it a little tingly,
keep it a little minty down there. All right, Anastasia. We don't kink shame on this podcast.
That's true.
It's true. It's so true.
I just want to point out too that there is a other half of the market that you could be addressing here, because men are not without drips. It's a different dripping issue, I think, than women, but at the same time.
I have a very visceral image right now, Colin.
Listen, I'm trying to follow the decorum of this conversation, which is radically much more cleaned up than our typical conversations on this podcast. But I'm just saying, we
definitely have men who use a Kula. Believe it or not, we actually have a miniature-sized Kula cloth that is only 3.5. Envy. Yeah, 3.5 by 3.5. It's super tiny, and we literally get requests from men. I've spoken to a bunch of men before who actually use a Kula to dry off after they pee, and as a secondary usage, and this would definitely need to be a very designated Kula for this purpose, we also have a lot of folks who use them as a post-bidet cloth. So after you've used your Kula Clean or whatever travel bidet that you happen to use, you typically need to pat dry. And essentially, while the primary use that we market Kula for is for a pee cloth, it essentially is an antimicrobial cloth. So you could use it for a post-bidet cloth. You could use it for a nose wipe, a hand wipe, something like that. So that would, I guess, kind of be my final recommendation for the listener, is that if the most important thing I always recommend is do what feels best to you. And if it genuinely doesn't feel like using a pea cloth vibes with you, that's also okay. I won't pea cloth shame anybody.
Good.
But you could always use it as a nose wipe or a hand wipe or something else, and it's still really practical and nice to have with you on backpacking trips.
Dedicated to those uses, though.
Yes.
Don't mix the uses.
We are not cross using.
Okay, good.
The
Front to
nose
back,
wipe
wipe,
does
front to
not
back.
become the pee wipe.
Yeah, and listen, and if your thing is having a tingly nethers, you know exactly what to do. Go get some Dr. Bronner's
More Dr.
peppermint.
Bronner's.
Yeah,
That's
go
right.
get Dr. Bronner's.
That's
Yeah,
right. We should
tingle.
see if they can sponsor this episode. Oh, man. Well, Anastasia, I have about 1,000 questions left, but I think we should just have you back on the show.
Anytime. I will be here to talk about tingling, peeing, pooping, and anything in between.
Oh my God, you're just a natural. You're a fit. You're
Beautiful.
Fit.
You fit right in. We might have to hire you as a third host. Sorry you won't get paid because none of us do. But
It's fine.
But it's fun.
not until Dr. Bronner starts sponsoring.
Yeah, we need that Bronner's money.
Let's put that on our vision board together.
That's right. I like this.
Dr.
Anastasia,
Bronner's, here we come.
well, thank you so much, y'all. Send more P questions. Let's get Anastasia back. She also likes to play instruments in mountains. She does a lot of things. She used to be a park ranger. She's got a lot going on. So send me more questions. Anastasia, have a wonderful rest of your day. May it be tingly and fresh forever.
Thank you.
I really appreciate any opportunity to talk about bodily functions on this podcast. So I want to thank Shaylene. Thank you again for that question. That is a question I've heard a lot over the years. And I also love having Anastasia anywhere in my orbit. So I'm very glad for that question. You know what we didn't actually mention? The reason I started using my raggedy ass pea cloth in the beginning is because I just didn't want to have all that disgusting used toilet paper with me all the time. It was just so much TP when you're on a long trail or even a weekend backpacking trip. If you are a prolific peer and pooper, like you're going to have a lot of TP at the end of it and you got to carry it out. We don't bury things here in the West, at least, because it's too dry and it just turns into petrified TP. But yeah, that's why I started using one. And I when I got my first Kula Cloth, it was revolutionary. They snap shut, by the way. Like, I don't know if you've seen one, Colin. Have you seen one?
Yeah. No, I have.
You know, the magic. Yeah, they snap shut. So it's not like the wet part is exposed to dirt or anything. It's amazing. They're well engineered, like A++.
I'm really glad that Shaylene asked the question and sent in the question because I'm sure, these are very natural questions to think of when you see something like that. But when you think about the circumstances in which you're using a Kula Cloth, which are usually just filthy.
What kind of peeing are you doing? My peeing is not filthy.
Just being out and backpacking and you're gross and everything like that.
It is the most natural thing you could
really
be doing, Colin, is peeing outside, okay?
Correct. But you're also sweaty and dirty and everything else.
I don't know what I'm like
a little bit
there.
of a little cloth with a little bit of pee on it. Like not the grossest thing you could be. Like the bag full of, of toilet paper, way grosser, is my point.
It's not as bad as carrying around a wag bag, that's for sure. All right. Well, I'm sure the people would like us to wrap it up. So or maybe they don't. Actually, it's better if they don't. We could just keep going.
That's true. We got we're going
to
marathon
the infinite episode.
Yes. We will never stop recording. But then will we ever release it? How will this work?
This is a very meta kind of question. But speaking of questions, let's do it. Last one.
Okay, here we go. Dear Gear Abby, here's a hot one for you.
All right.
Obviously, you've seen the news that the national parks got a lot more expensive for international visitors. Do you think raising those fees was a good idea? Sean wrote this. Thanks, Sean. But come on, man.
Man, couldn't you just ask me a nice question about poop?
Seriously. Let me just bait the hell out of you. Here we go.
I feel like I have to limber up for this one. I feel like, speaking of rock fight, I'm going to absolutely get rock fight emails for this.
Seriously, I'm going to step aside as the podcast, fist shaker at the clouds. Shawnté, I'm tagging you in.
All right. I don't know if my take will surprise you or not, but all right. So for any of you listening who are just emerging from a 1,000-year slumber under a very large rock, Sean is referring to an executive order that was issued last year that raised fees at some of the most popular national parks. So not all of them. I think it's 11 for people 16 and older who are not U.S. residents to the tune of $100 per person, not per car. They do have the option of buying a non-resident annual pass for $250, which covers everybody in the car, and that's in contrast to the U.S. resident one, which is still $80. Also, I don't know if people realize this, how we used to have all those fee-free days, like, I don't know, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Juneteenth, 2 days celebrating Blackness that were taken off of the calendar this year by, I don't know, maybe some people who don't like Blackness. Anyway, all of those days, those fee-free days, used to be free for anyone who entered the park. And now, non-U.S. residents are excluded from that. They still have to pay on those days, which means that somehow park rangers at the entrance stations are going to have to check ID and proof of residence for every single visitor. We're going to get back to that in a minute. So let's talk about this. There's generally 2 arguments I've heard for higher fees. First, that it's an offset for the fact that international visitors don't already pay taxes like we do. And second is the idea that people visiting from other places must have a lot of money to travel, so we might as well just go ahead and fleece them because they'll spend whatever because they really want to be there. And I think at face value, it is not entirely unheard of for parks around the world to upcharge international visitors. I remember paying a pretty steep non-resident fee when I was at Kilimanjaro. Places like Galapagos National Park, Angkor Wat, Torres del Paine, Kruger National Park in South Africa, they all do the same thing. In theory, I'm emphasizing theory, this is designed to bring more money to the parks, especially those parks that see a lot of international visitors. And all right, our parks need the money. I cannot be mad. In theory, Colin is like,
is this a theory?
This is in theory, Colin. I don't know if you noticed. Colin is just holding it in right now. So listen, I have 2 issues. We'll just say 2 issues, okay? 2 issues with this in reality.
2 issues with 23 issues buried into those 2 issues.
7,000. This is why today's episode is an infinite episode.
It's just going to keep going.
It's just circular. So first of all, to me, it is a real head scratcher that even as the current administration says these increased fees will, and I quote, improve the infrastructure of or otherwise enhance enjoyment of or access to America's federal recreation areas.
Bullshit. Excuse me. Sorry. I'll edit that out later.
No. Colin might be onto something because this very same administration is at the same time actively working to drastically defund an already underfunded park system. Okay? We are talking about this. Listen, this is just facts, people. We're talking about an administration that has laid off a significant number of permanent park employees, leaving people. Like, I interviewed a guy, I'm not going to say where he works or what he does, but a professional person who's worked in the parks for decades, who does things that are life-saving and structure-saving, who is now doing things like cleaning bathrooms, okay? While also supposed to be still doing the other stuff. Anyway, so this administration wanted to enact the largest ever budget cuts to the National Park Service at the tune of more than $1 billion. And that is while we're already sitting at an estimated $23 billion deficit across the Park Service, things that need to get done, fixed, implemented, people who need to be hired, etc. No matter your political affiliation, your thoughts, anything like that, the math ain't mathin', okay? If you think the park should have money, which I do, raising fees can be part of the solution. But the other part needs to be increasing appropriations from Congress in the budget. Like, you cannot talk out of both sides of your ass, which is what's happening here. Okay, so that's my first point of contention. Colin is still his.
That was good. That was pretty concise.
Thank you.
You know?
Thank you. I'm trying to shake my fist at a minimum here. I want to encourage. I'm a gentle girl. Okay, so here's the other main part of the issue that I have. The only way, and we kind of alluded to this earlier, only way to determine if somebody is a resident or a non-resident is by checking every single ID of every single person. Because again, remember, the international surcharge is per person, not per car. Okay? So that means if there's 4 people in a car, you got to check 4 IDs. From a practical standpoint, this is stupid. All right. I'm sure some of you have waited in the already massive lines. Again, these are our most popular parks that are getting this implemented. Yeah. Some of you know the lines at like Yosemite, which is one of the parks. It's stupid. And I just want to there's also this creepy undercurrent of us versus them. And that seems to be a common theme with the current administration. It's like I feel like we're living in one giant human purity test.
Totally.
Are the park staff trained to understand the nuances of residency in this country and all the different IDs that cover that? Okay, it's not just a driver's license. It's not just a passport. Are they going to harass people if they don't think their ID is valid or because they don't understand it? And perhaps, to me, most importantly, is facing identification scrutiny going to stop people from visiting the parks? Like, that to me is the biggest thing we should be thinking about here. That and the fact that the administration is going to use the park struggles, which is due to them underfunding the parks, to make a pitch for private enterprises to take over in the end. So this is all, I feel like we're all getting the short end of the stick here, even if you think this is just a weird fee thing for international visitors. So anyway, thanks, Sean. Gonna go scream into the void now.
Yeah, look, this is monopoly. This is made up monopoly money that we have here in the United States. Those other parks, even those other countries, like, I doubt that they're as wealthy a country as the United States. And it's like, we're saying, oh, we can't afford, we gotta, like, fuck off. We absolutely can.
Yeah,
like,
it turns
we can
out
just
we
decide
spend
to
a lot of money on
tomorrow.
other things that we could be putting into nicer
Oh my
things.
God, well, right?
I don't know.
But we're gonna, like, amp up, more national defense for the War Department to get ready to invade Greenland. Like, that's that's what we're doing instead of
Greenland.
Instead of the thing that people want more of in this country, which is our national parks.
Yeah.
Teddy Roosevelt, talk about rolling in your spinning in your grave.
Seriously. Jesus. Poor Ken Burns. What's Ken Burns thinking now? I mean,
He's like, is anybody watching my Revolutionary War thing?
he's like, if
It's
you
kind
went
of
back,
apt.
He's just doing a screening of his national park series on the White House lawn. He's like, hey guys,
Yeah.
remember how we said it was our best idea? Anyone still with me? Oh man, that's it for this episode of Gear Abby. Until next time, send your burning questions, not about the Park Service, please and thank you, at least for an episode or two, about your relationships with outdoor products, people, places, and pastimes, over to deargearabby@gmail.com, and I'm going to do my best to answer them or find someone like Anastasia who can. And of course, head over to your podcast listening service of choice and subscribe, rate, and review to support the pod and make my day. Follow us on Instagram at GearAbbyPod. I finally started posting again. You're welcome. In the meantime, this is for all of you. In the meantime, today's episode was produced by David Karstad and this guy, Colin True. Art direction provided by Sarah Gensert. I'm Shawnté Salabert, and remember, there are no dumb questions, just smart advice.